I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. I need that money. I really, really do. I need that money. I really need that money. Really need that money. Really, that money. That money.
Which I'm very much looking forward to. Silk Song's been a great playthrough so far. Looking forward to more major progress today. Every time we play this, there's new variety of areas, enemies, abilities, and good stuff. You know, the Metroidvania formula, pretty much at its finest, right, in this game. So definitely looking forward to a great stream with all of you. There we go. So how are you all this morning? Let's see who we got. We got Dab Hands. What's up to Wexford, to Dig Bix, Squirtle, Chris, Vassild, Grandmaster Scrub, Facehugger, a cold bologna sandwich. Well, actually, it's cold bologna sandwiches. Kev, the Ripper, how you doing this morning? On Kick, we got Buckwell. We've got, let's see, Mango Ice Cream Kitty, Major Chong, RGB King, you get it? A lot of these are LARPers, by the way. Big Barb, Eddie Chill. Eddie Chill just earning their 1-year subscription badge over on Kick. Really appreciate it that you've been a supporter on Kick for a year. Thank you, Eddie Chill. Holy Marcellus, how you doing? Phil's best friend, how you doing? Usagi Jojo, what's up? Good morning. Bonos Tecmo, how are you? Someone pretending to be IronChefSakai. Their name is Steel Cook Takai. How you doing? So as we hang out today, Gabriel, how you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. How's my morning? My morning's pretty good. Except I got awoken by Jasper early because my wife had to go to work early this morning. And Jasper Kitty always wakes up when she's getting ready and will not let me go back to sleep. Like while my wife's getting ready for work, I've got about like 90 minutes I can still sleep. Okay? And I want to sleep. But Jasper does not want me to sleep. Because my wife's up, that's it. You've got to be up. And he starts pawing me and pawing me and pawing me and purring and trying to get, So I'm a little low on sleep, but it's good. It's all good. That's what kitties tend to do. No, my parents never expressed any interest of being in any of my content, just like my parents never expressed interest in pretty much any of my interests my whole life. And that's not an exaggeration. When I was a kid, I liked playing with action figures and things, and my dad would do that with me, and then I would do it with my friends. Then I got into video games, and my dad would play Atari and stuff with me. And then we did some sports and stuff together. Like I always did sports and stuff with my dad. But once I got into video gaming, he was just not into it. So after the Atari, like when I started going to arcades, my dad would drive me to the arcade, and he actually was at night school at the time, taking classes for college. And so he would study and do stuff while I was there at the arcade playing as a young kid. But then as soon as I was old enough to start doing stuff by myself, that was it. So my parents have no interest in video games or anything like that. So I doubt they've ever even watched a video of mine. I'm serious. I'm really serious. I don't think they care about this stuff. I mean, it's funny because, I say to my parents, you can just tune in whenever you want to see how I'm doing, to see how I look and everything. And, nope. Fire 7672, 33 months as a supporter. Thanks for popping your renewal message there. Good to see you today. Oh, Extra Bondage, yes. He says, I've been inundated with anti-DSP videos on YouTube. It's amazing how many leeches use you for content. Yeah, they call it the vortex that I'm not in. And I have no idea who these people are, and I have no interaction with them, and I don't care. I just ignore them. There's a whole ecosystem around me, apparently. Good for them. Nope, never heard of a Blaze Pizza. Okay. All right. So we got about 20 minutes to hang out before we begin with Silk Song. So FYI, we've been doing really good, and thank you to everyone who's been supporting my streams. I appreciate that. We've reset back to 0 goals. At 10 goals, it looks like it'll be Little Caesars. So please, let's get some support. Silk Song so far has been incredibly well supported. We've been hitting goals whenever we play it, and as long as we keep hitting goals when I play Silk Song, I've committed to keeping it as a day stream, a major stream in the rotation. If Silk Song doesn't get supported because it's a Metroidvania and it very well could fall off, then I'm probably going to turn it back to a night stream and see how it does there. All right. But personally, I really like the game and I want to keep playing it as a day stream. So please support Silk Song today. We get our first support for the stream today. Maybe our first sub, our first membership, our first tip, our first super chat, just to get stuff rolling. That would be nice. And what's on everyone's mind? Turkish restaurants, we have Middle Eastern / Mediterranean restaurants, not necessarily pure Turkish. So there are like kebabs, heroes, that kind of stuff.
Spinning bird kick.
Spinning bird kick. Thanks, Original Grant, for support of the day. A $2 super chat. He says, hello, Phil. You had amazing support last few streams. Yes, it did. Yes, it did. And the thing is, sometimes it's one or two particular people, and then other times it's actually, a collective effort. And I really appreciate that. Like, let's be honest. We had that guy Final Wish who's been coming by and being very generous. And we had that other person as well who was very generous. And then we had a couple streams. It seems like the night streams, right? Like Friday Night Fights. Everyone came together. We hit a goal last night for Truck Sim. We hit a goal. We're hitting goals like crazy, which is great. That's what I mean. Like, I want to keep that momentum going, and I want to keep these games in the rotation. Silk Song, I've actually really enjoyed. So I do hope that you guys are going to support Silk Song, because I was skeptical about a Metroidvania working. So far, it's working. So let's keep it working. I want to keep playing it, but I can't play a game of this magnitude. Apparently, this game is very long. I can't keep playing it if people aren't going to show up anymore. That's, of course, correct. The only reason that I've been around for so long is because I am a warlock who makes deals with all kinds of demons and things. Of course. Yes. In reality, the reason that I've been around for so long is just because I'm a really stubborn asshole, right? I'm a real stubborn bastard. I refuse to go away, and I refuse to let anyone tell me what I can and can't do, and I refuse to lose. So I just stick around, and I persevere. While other people have bowed out and given up and thrown in the towel and quit, every time that some kind of new adversity hits me, I say, screw that, I'm going to keep going. And I do, and I find a way to succeed. Yeah, I know, Dab Hands, but there's nothing we can do. Dab Hands says, I'm always skeptical of new people. You don't know if it's old people creeping back in or whatever. And, as a creator, that's something that you have to just basically deal with and be like, well, don't know. It is what it is. Certainly, I hope that newcomers who come by and are supporters are not someone who's already had awful conduct, someone who's already been banned, and now they're coming in with a sock account. But it's not like you would know, and there's nothing you can do about it, right? Nothing. I have no control over it. I'm sure it's happened tons of times over the years. It's just hilarious because it's always someone new, yet at the same time, people say it's the same person. So first, a lot of the times back in the day, people would say it was Swaggins. Oh, it was Swaggins is your only supporter. Swaggins comes by every stream and drops tons of money, right? Then it became only iced coffee. Oh, every supporter is only iced coffee. They're all the same person. Every single supporter must be only iced coffee. But what about Planet Jeff? Oh, every supporter is Planet Jeff secretly supporting from behind the scenes. Phil only has one supporter, right? And then over the years, it just keeps changing. But then they always pick up the same names. Like, so let me get this straight. All my supporters are the same person, yet you just named 20 different people. So even your own logic fails. Like, what are you talking about? 1 Minute Man. There you go. 1 Minute Man. Everyone must be 1 Minute Man, right? So here's the thing. You can't control who supports you. You can't, right? You have no control over that. The truth is, how people behave dictates how things go. As long as someone comes by and hangs out and is a cool person in chat and abides by the rules, I'm happy to have anyone here, whether you support or not. But if someone ends up becoming a negative influence, a toxic influence, they're breaking the rules, they're being insulting, then they're going to get moderated just like anyone else. It doesn't matter if they're a supporter or not. And that's what's happened to a lot of these people. They start contributing, but then they think, oh, well, now I have free reign to just say and do whatever I want and be a nasty person to everybody because I'm contributing to the stream. And it couldn't be further from the truth. Everyone has exactly the same level of treatment. No one's better than anyone else. You know what I mean? And I hope that people understand that. So, you know, in particular, these people who have been around in the last week who've been very supportive have been positive people. They haven't been toxic. They haven't been saying anything messed up. So it's all good. Danzak did a $5 super chat. He says, you have been around so long, you might be inspiring second generation viewers. Isn't that cool? I've probably gotten 3 to 4 generations of viewer. You know, I get people who leave comments on my videos. They're like, dude, I just found you again. I used to watch you back in like 2010. And I was just randomly searching and your, a video pops up in my feed and it's you. And I can't believe you're still at it. And then honestly, usually I get a comment like, wow, you look so different. Like you sound different. You look different. Like, yeah, a lot has changed in the last 15 years. That's for sure. Sub of the day over on Kick to get some momentum on Kick. So far, we have 2 super chats. Can we get our first tip of the day? That would be excellent. Get a tip, get a sub, get a little bit of variety of support, and get that momentum flowing as we start up Silk Song. Okay. Can we get our first tip of the day? We've gotten some super chats. We got a sub now. Can we get a tip? Then we'll have had contributions of every sort, which is a nice start. Abdullah, how are you? What the hell? Abdullah did a $6.81 super chat. That's the biggest super chat of the day. Let's get that on the leaderboard. And he says that he had an accident emergency situation and had to drive 140 miles per hour with his sirens on. I assume it sounds like you're in emergency services for your occupation. He says it's dangerous, but it pumps the adrenaline and it raises awareness. Wow, I've never driven that fast. I've driven around 100. That's about the fastest I've driven. It was around 100 miles per hour. I'll probably never do that again in my life.